Gentlemen, if you would, take a look at the minutes from last meeting. And if there's a motion to adopt those, we'll entertain that.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, minutes are adopted. Item number 1, new business, approval of disbursement from District 5 improvement funds. Council President Tyner.
Mr. Tyner has telephoned and said that he will not be able to make it in due to a previous appointment and asked if I would present this item for him. He has discussed previously with staff that he would like to give $3,000 to Eagles Wings Day Have program out of his district improvement funds. And that's-
So moved.
Second.
You know, this is a new political angle Mr. Tyner has. You know, he just gets the CFO to come up. And,
Right.
His previous appointment is rumored to be buying dog food, but
Usually we want the council
make it sound
person here,
better,
don't we,
sorry.
to make that presentation. Or we table it.
Miss Sanders, do I understand through the grapevine that he wants it doubled up tonight?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Wow.
And he's not here for answering the
So
question.
he's asking for special favors too.
and just for the record,
Miss-
this is
Miss
not a
Andrews?
staff.
I'm not gonna answer that one.
So he's asking for special favors too, Mr.
Well,
Chairman.
I think all of us should have that opportunity,
Right.
though. I mean, down the road.
The question is, does he have enough money left for the Christmas tree?
Let's just each decide what we want out of him, okay?
Do you
We have a
think-
motion and a
Do you
second.
think he's listening?
I hope so.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Item is approved. Number 2, animal shelter service contract renewal. Jimbo, Mr. Woodson.
Okay. This collection of figures is in your packet. I've got extras if you don't have it. Everybody got the figures to look at?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is the renewal with our contract with Metro Animal Shelter, Inc. They are our service provider, have been so since it's at its current location. The current contract, you can see at the top, is 1.442 million, and the renewal will be for year 1, 1.604. That's an 11.25% increase. And then the next year is 4%, then 296, then 339 for the last year, and 227. The reason for the increase is mostly all of her supplies have gone up, medical costs have gone up, the medicines they use at the shelter have gone up, and she can't get anybody to work for the wages she can afford to pay, so she's trying to increase her wages. The advisory committee recommends approving at this current price.
Is a representative from the animal shelter here?
We didn't ask her to come.
Okay. So the item up for vote though is strictly the
Year 1.
year 1.
Approval of the 5 years of the service contract.
So what?
Why would we approve a 5-year contract?
It locks it in. We used to do 3, but we found that it's difficult every time we do this. We wanted to move to 5, and we think it's going to be cheaper to lock it in at 5. She broke it down. I asked her to in year 1 through 5, so that it wouldn't be this tremendous increase in year 1 being amortized over the 5 years of the contract.
I didn't follow that.
Instead of paying the same amount every year and giving you one lump sum, I asked her to break it down by 5 years.
Well, I think that's very helpful to be able to anticipate what we're conceptually agreeing to in terms of 5 years. But we're talking about making a commitment on behalf of future councils. They're not bound by it, are they?
The contract,
Yes.
yes.
Yes, sir. You can make a commitment that extends your term.
Are there other places we do that?
We do it with bond issuances,
Incentives?
we do fairly typical, yes, sir. Like we
Bond issue.
for instance, we take out 30
So
year
you can pay for the
debt.
next 30 years.
We did Danny Wimmer Presents last week, was longer than this council's term.
In fact, the budget adoption that you'll do at the end of September will go past your term for the next few months after that too. Yeah.
Mr. Busby, I do support this. I've been very impressed with Jennifer and her team. They've been working under some, I mean, frankly, I think we've all had this discussion. We know there needs to be facility improvements. To what scope and scale, that absolutely, as you and I have discussed before, needs to be defined. But they have, in my opinion, we have come a long way in the last few years with the management of the Metro Animal Shelter. And the other thing I would say is I don't know what the alternative would be, except possibly us getting into the animal shelter business.
It would cost more to put city or county employees in there. What the reason it's changed from what it used to be. It used to be a place where animals would be held 7 days and then euthanized. The public expected a lot more. And when Jennifer came along, it went from a very high percentage of animals euthanized. Now it is less than, say, 7%. And most of those are sick animals or not adoptable. So as close as you can get to a no-kill shelter.
Jimbo, what is the, I mean, have we had any feedback from the county or Northport about,
Yes, they are going forward back to their governments with this same contract.
but we don't know whether they're gonna approve it yet or not?
We'll be first, and then I'll send the word to them, but it's going back, they're each going to their respective bodies.
What happens if we approve this today and the other two governments don't approve what's asked for? What will happen? Will they just have
Hadn't
to
happened
adjust?
before, but if they don't approve it, they're gonna need to tell us, what are you proposing, why are you not approving this, and then we come back.
What about the capital requirements that I think they're gonna be, I mean, because there's gonna be some capital requirements for some construction or some, they've gotta have help with that too. Do
Yes,
we know
that's
what that
another
is?
piece, when we're through with this,
Okay,
then we'll come back for some short-term, immediate need fixes that are not gonna be tremendously expensive. And then there'll be a study to determine whether or how to approach fixing the shelter, whether it's at the right location, whether we replace the building, whether we refurbish the building. That's to be done at a later date.
Last week, Judge Robertson and I had a handshake agreement that we can do some things in kind. The county is gonna look at sending their plumbing crews over there to help rework some of the plumbing issues. We're gonna get some of Eric's crews and CFG to do some of the electrical work that needs to be out there. There's going to be, I think, Jimbo, an evaluation of the roofing and the insulation within the roofing. Those are three of the short-term areas that we want to address. We may do a lot of this, probably not the insulation removal, but the plumbing and electrical, we think we can do with our own staff. Then get those issues solved, and then move next into the long-term planning for the facility itself. I think that is, as I understand it, that is our general direction.
They're probably,
So,
They are, I don't think they're fully back to taking animals at this point, but I know the rate of infection dropped precipitously down to 18%. I think it's the last
yeah,
report I
improved
saw.
remarkably. Today they're working in the kennel, and it's gonna exceed 90 degrees for those working in there.
so a couple of thoughts. As you and I kind of discussed this morning, I am predisposed to support this. And in some ways, animals who can't help themselves rely on us for that. And I did not understand what was coming to us today was 5 years. So unless there's some time urgency, I would like to have the director in. I mean, we're talking about over $8 million here, right?
Yep.
I mean, I think that's worth hearing from the requester. I would like the director, you mentioned Jennifer, I don't know her.
8 million is everybody's portion, right? We have 44% that we're only obligated to.
I don't know, Mr. Busby, of any, Jimbo may. Jimbo does a great job serving as the city's liaison along with Mr. Tyner. I think having Jennifer come in would be a really good thing. I'm impressed with her.
I don't see that as a negative, I see it as a positive. And so actually, Mr. Lanier is correct, right? That 8-ish million, that's for all three of our parks, not just ours.
Yeah.
So ours is down to 44% of that. That gets better, but let's,
$4 million.
and by the way, there is a motion, and if there's a motion and a second, it goes for a vote.
So moved.
I mean, I'm fine with seconding it, but I would like her to come talk to us. I mean, unless you wanna, I mean, it's,
I think that, you know, we've known about this animal shelter, and we've known the things that have been going on there. And we do understand that it's gonna take more to upkeep that facility. And I think we need to move ahead, and we can still have a conversation.
yeah, I'm going to second the motion
Okay.
to approve
All right,
this
there's-
today, but I would like to have her come to the
Well,
committee to talk to us.
If this is acceptable to the committee, pass it out today. You would still have to vote on it next week.
Right.
She could come if her schedule, assuming she's in Tuscaloosa, I know she will be here, and then come talk. And then if there are any issues, you can always table it at the council.
Right.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Would you like her to come to finance next week?
yes, and we're,
Yes, please.
All right, I'll
Thank
go
you.
talk.
all right, thank you,
Thanks,
Mr.
Jim.
Woodson.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
General fund budget revision number 21, standards.
Yes, sir. Officially, good afternoon, council. This item is requesting a budget revision to the general fund. Revision number 21 to be able to record some insurance proceeds for, there was a lightning storm on July 27th that hit some of our, infrastructure along the Western Riverwalk, specifically some of our technology infrastructure. Jason Foster is here to kind of go through a few of the damages that you'll see in some of these pictures. We have filed insurance claim on some of these, but then also because this is new technology, it needs to be replaced. A lot of the lightning strike damages are to technology-based infrastructure equipment along the Riverwalk with blowouts and singe points. The total amount that we're requesting out of insurance proceeds is $31,000 to be moved into IT's equipment line item for their replacement costs.
You can't fix that, Mr. Paul?
It's hard to put the magic back in the box when it comes out.
When it's fried.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When it's fried.
This, we believe there's a lightning strike near to one of the cabinets in the Western Riverwalk. The damage was at one, some of the scorch marks that you saw in here, and the two cabinets on either side of it. Wireless access points, cameras, and the network infrastructure for this. We have temporary measures in place right now, so we had those back up and running within a couple of days, but most of the equipment was borrowed from other infrastructure projects that we had waiting, so this is to purchase replacements. And as Mr. Sanders said, we filed an insurance claim.
He's on well.
How quick can you get the equipment?
These usually come within a week, once it passes all the approvals.
Pretty good.
Yes, especially considering,
Motion.
a year ago. that
Motion
was,
approved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. When the customer says, I'll buy, stop selling. So I had asked Ms. Sanders to put as a placeholder, budget discussion in case there was any staff sections that I wanted to begin hearing from early on there, and I promised I would give advance notice of that, and I have not, and I don't have any compelling, urgent questions on that, so unless y'all have something to bring up, there's nothing plugged in for here.
I have nothing, Mr. Chair.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Yeah, 1 second. Mr. Chairman, I know that there are I thought there was still a little bit of money that we need to discuss to allocate. I think there was that $1.5 million in the capital budget. I'm not sure that everything has been accounted for, has it, Carly? Or maybe we can update and talk about that next week, what we haven't voted on.
Yes, sir. So yes, there is a portion that is unallocated. I do not have that in front of me.
It's fine.
We can do a recalculate just to make sure. I do know that the facade improvement program is still the one that's kind of hanging out there from the proposal. There were some that were funded a little bit lower than the proposal amount, that kind of created a little bit more contingency, and so we can recalculate those items and have that maybe for next week.
And I think
Can we
do that,
we
Mr. Chairman?
Bring that back, 'cause
We talked
Yeah.
about that
yeah,
facade
so
program.
we talked about it, and the way they laid it out is really the way it should go. I had to do my own research, and be close, so yeah.
Did we
It's a
wanna
good deal.
do any allocation of that, like, or just, it's
Yeah, we-
everybody in the city
I
applies?
just
or-
roll with it, how it is, they have to reimburse it. We'll reimburse them after they pay for it out
Right.
of front, so that's just gonna be the way to go.
All right, so that's still moving towards us.
Yeah,
It is.
we need to discuss that, vote on it.
All right,
Still
and
need
then,
to
Ms.
set the
Dan,
line item.
Yeah.
Right,
Yes.
correct?
Right, that's what we're
Yeah.
doing.
So we want to put it on the
and Ms.
agenda.
Andrews,
And
the
read those
the-
final, let's get the
and
final,
Eric,
whatever
the-
we agreed to.
amounts not
anything's been changed.
expended or approved and expended on the, I forget what we call it, the,
It was a facility
No, I'm good.
plan.
Right.
Yes, sir. Yes, we'll recalculate all that, and we'll have exact numbers to you then next week.
and
That'd be
I would
perfect.
like to suggest that there be a rain shed over the entrance, our entrance into the parking deck, so that in the pouring rain, we don't get suits and cars so rolling the window down and get the,
Oh, wow.
okay, are there any,
Or an app, we could just have an app to open it up, couldn't we?
Yeah.
any other items to be brought before finance today?
Motion to adjourn quickly.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.